Hello, everyone. Welcome to the trip. As you can see, I got a new guest in the house. He's been hiding from us since the summer, since last season, but he's back for a little bit. Then he's off again.
Looks
Yeah, he
familiar.
does. But we'll talk about
it's Stan Cullimore.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. My show title, which Sam did not like, and more in just a bit. This is DWTT coming to you from the Emirates. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the trip. See, we got a full house. We might have one more guest come in, but we'll see. Before we get started, I don't know what about this title. I thought it sounded good in my head, but it's not. It doesn't look good now.
A lot of math.
Yeah, there's a lot of math. I don't know what's going on there, but as you can see, we got our new guest in the house. One Matt, Southern Gooner. How are you doing?
Good to be back, gentlemen. Good to be back.
Cool. Matt's been working, basically. Now he's about to go enjoy himself a little bit from all that working. So, and below him, you got Stan the man. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, man. As I said pre-show, just getting old and having more ailments like bones and backs and bad eyes and things like that. But other than that, good.
Cool. And probably the happiest person on this pod right now, Mr. Tom. How are you doing?
It's not bad, is it? Could be worse.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. How was your summer, Matt?
I thought Arsenal was good, man. It's a good summer, man. Got enjoyed it. It's just been hot. This heat wave. Other than that, it's all good, man.
Cool. So let's get into it. Quick mention. Leeds won. Cool. Now let's move on.
Very short segment.
Didn't we? Didn't just win. We laid out an entire front four scored.
There you go.
It was our first win in 144 days in the league, to be fair.
Wow.
Go enjoy it.
So he's happy, but we are not. Arsenal had a tough Saturday. Spent a whole half, I think, down. Actually, spent 69 minutes down, 1 goal. Came back, took the lead, and then gave it right back again. Gave it back the game once again. So really tough one. Lots of people to blame, not the people who had faults. And I think everybody gets a piece. You can choose whoever you want. They all got a piece in this game. I guess I'll start with who I think it started basically in the first minute, and Arsenal's had a problem now. I think I saw a stat: 3 out of 9 games they've now proceeded to give up a goal in the first minute. That just doesn't sound like good preparation to me. How do you go into a game and consistently? That sounds consistent to me. 3 out of 9. That 3 out of the last 9. That's just. Yeah, this whole year, if they've been able to do that, calendar year. Saka with a poor pass, and I think that shook him because I don't think we got the right Saka after that. And then basically the last goal, he had an opportunity, I think, to save all the points, and I think he froze. When I watched the video, I think he froze. I might be wrong, but it wasn't a good day for Saka. Some people call him the star boy. He didn't have a good day, and I think a lot of people didn't have a good day. That's my initial thoughts on the game. Started in the first 60 seconds, and even though it looked like it went well, it ended just as bad. Matt?
Well, looks like from what I'm seeing, it looks like Arteta's just hell-bent on making this formation thing that he's got going on work. Shoehorning Havertz into the team. He's going to make Partey a world-class right back. It's the same thing we saw at the end of last season. The only difference is we've got Kai Havertz in the team now. We cannot, we must not, we shall not have that same formation again this season. That is just not, it's just not going to work. It's not going to work. You know, I was listening to some talking heads there after the game while I was cruising Saturday. And people were going in on Declan Rice, and I said, well, man, do you realize that the formation does not even bring the best out of Declan Rice because he can't do what he would normally do if he has what he needs. You know, Thomas Partey, you know, you look over there and Thomas Partey's playing right back. I mean, you look at that, and you look at Saka's performance. I mean, it was an overall mess this weekend. It was a mess. And before anybody comes in here going, well, Man City, they struggled yesterday with Sheffield. Oh, my word. It was a battle. I mean, they look more potent than we did. I mean, it felt like a loss. It felt like a loss. We're getting ready to go into the meat and potatoes of this, what I would say this is going to be a definitive part of our first part of the season. We've got some major games coming up, major. And we've got to have a better output than we've got the last at least 3 games of this season. We got off the hook against Palace. We got off the hook this Saturday. Manchester United is not. We won't have that kind of room for error. They're coming back from 2 goals down, winning 3-2. We have got to figure out this thing. For me, Kai Havertz shouldn't even start again this season. He should be doing. If you want to take the pressure off of him, and you want to let him try to contribute the best way you can, you have to take the Darwin Nunez approach. Just sit him off to the side, and we'll see what we can get out of him coming off of the bench. But starting right away, nah, that's just not going to be it, man. And we're seeing it over and over and over. Yeah.
All right. So let's say hello to everybody, and we'll let Stan have his say. As I mentioned, the title, I don't know where I was going with it, but it definitely had to do with the two goals, 2 points dropped, and 2 plays. So yeah, got BX in the house. Welcome to the show. BX Gunner Anders has also joined us. Welcome. Now the show's half over. What? You got lots of time. Don't worry. Ian is in the house. Welcome. Moss has joined us. All right, so let's get into it. So Stan, what are you thinking about the game now that you've had another day to sit on it?
I mean, you're looking at it from the top down. You look at the beginning of our season, and we've got 7 points out of 9, which on the surface doesn't sound too bad. Probably a lot of supporters of other clubs would like to be in that position, but that's on the surface. If you look below that, I'm watching the first 3 games, and it just doesn't look as crisp and as breathtaking and as smooth as the games did last season. And I think that we've been lucky on a couple of occasions to have come out without losing a game, personally. I have no idea what I can't predict our lineups anymore. I can only tell you the lineup that I would like to see. If someone says, what do you think Mikel's going to put out? I can't tell you, because he doesn't seem to have any method to the madness. It's just, he just does his thing. The Gabriel, the Gabriel situation is the most puzzling for me, because I don't understand how, if a player is playing for 73 games, that would tell you that the manager considers him to be very valuable. To then just rip up the heart of our defence and say it's for tactical reasons, 3 games straight now, I'm having trouble buying that it's tactical reasons. I mean, is Gabriel Megalegs is he just a foil then for Zinchenko? What, he can't play in the team when Zinchenko's not playing? I don't buy that. He's a centre-back and he's built up a pairing with Saliba. He should be able to play with whoever the fullbacks are. Shouldn't really seem to make that difference, or shouldn't cause a difference to his game. So for me, that's the most puzzling thing at the moment. The Havertz situation, you know, if the season was going to end, if the season had ended after the last game and you asked me for my thoughts, I'd say that he's been very disappointing for what I expected, for what we've paid for him. But I would like to sort of like wait until after 10 games, 10 appearances as an Arsenal shirt, where I can really give you my opinion on what I think of him. But I am a little bit underwhelmed at the moment from the performances that I've seen. However, you look at the stats, the written stats, and you see that he's doing a lot of good things. You know, there was one stat in one of the matches that he covered the most ground. In spite of what everybody says that he looks a bit languid, he actually covered the most ground. And that's okay if you look at it with the written stats. But my eye, when I watch him, it doesn't tell me that. I'm not seeing those things. So I'm really hoping that that comes good. Maybe as well, as I said on the podcast yesterday, you know, if you swapped his price tag around with Trossard's, would some of the changes that have been made yesterday, would they have been different if Havertz had cost us 27 and Trossard had cost us 65?
Correct. Yep. Yeah, and all these, I mean, the way we're sounding right now, it sounds, you know, as you said, most teams would be happy to get 7 points, but as I've told Mr. Tom multiple times, there's levels to this thing. We're trying to raise the level of this squad, and finishing second last season should have been like a jolt to the system. Like, hey, I think, you know, we've shown that we can do it. We just need to do it again, but we're gonna have to do it with more players and more fronts. So I think, yeah, based on the way we've played, and this is what I believe people are gonna go, I don't understand. Based on the way we've played, going and playing Manchester United will be tough. We've shown that we can't hold on to a lead. We've shown that we can give up goals easy, you know, and usually on minimum amount of touches. I mean, I think all of the 2 goals that have been scored were, I think our XG is one of the best in the league. You wouldn't know it, you know. Pretty much, we're giving up like triple the amount of goals we're supposed to give up based on the stats. If you look at it that way, teams with no chance of getting a goal or getting goals on us, and that's disappointing. But yeah, we'll get a little bit happier here because Ray has joined us and he has a question for Mr. Tom. Mr. Tom probably will talk about our game a little bit and then get into.
I thought we did that segment.
You did. We did for like 5 seconds. I'm giving him another 10 seconds. I'm giving another 10 seconds. But before you start, we've got Arsenal since 1987. Welcome to the show. It's been a while since we've seen you, I think. But welcome back if I missed you. But come on, let's get into it, Mr. Tom.
No, I want to go on. I want to talk about Arsenal. I want to talk about.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to. Because something you said earlier. You said Arsenal have conceded 3 times in 9 games in the first minute. Is that right? From the kickoff.
Yeah, within 1 minute.
I thought it was more than that.
In 3 games, we've conceded.
Oh, this season.
This calendar year. In this calendar year,
you are the only team in the history of the Premier League to concede in the first minute 3 times in a calendar year. That is a big problem.
Major.
It's a big issue. And people, and people go, why is that a big issue, Tom? I'm like, because you're an elite football team. You are an elite. Let's get this clear. Despite what I'm saying, you are an elite football squad. You're a team. You are one of the top 6 teams in the world.
Just say one more time.
Or in the country. In the country, not in the world. That was a bit, right? You're an elite football team, but the Derby County team that got about 11 points didn't concede 3 goals in the first minute of the game. Okay? Leeds conceded goals hand over fist in their stint in the Premier League. Didn't concede goals in the first minute of games, though.
Yeah.
That wore on, like shit defending showed through. But the point is, you are a good football team, maybe even great football team, but you cannot take a kickoff to save your fucking lives because you only conceded from 3. But I know Leeds nearly scored on you in the first minute, but we
That's
didn't.
right.
So that would have
That's
been
right.
4.
Yeah, that's
So
close.
I'm guessing there will be other teams that also nearly scored on you from your kickoff.
Yeah.
So Arteta needs to get a kickoff routine in training because that's the only way you fix it, right? Is by practicing how to do a fucking kickoff.
Can I throw this in there?
To.
Can I throw this in there? You know, I'm gonna tell you what's getting lost in this too. If Adama Traore could score a damn goal, we'd lose that game on Saturday. That game that game was had that been anybody else outside of him and that gentleman that was at Nottingham Forest, we probably having 2 different discussions. It's cause for concern. People think, oh man, y'all are panicking, y'all are, you know.
Exactly. You got 7 points out of 9, you should be pleased. Yeah. But
the margin
I'm not panicking at all. I'm just pointing out something that's glaringly obvious.
Well, I mean,
need to work on.
But see, the problem with some of our fan bases, they don't see it that way, Tom. The margin for error we learned last season is razor thin, and people have to accept that for what it is. No matter what kind of rebuild they got going on over at City, no matter what they have over there, no matter how much money's been spent, X, Y, and Z, they're still mentally better to equip to deal with tough scenarios than we are. We have got to break out of this mentality when we like he said, giving up goal 3 straight games, giving up a goal in the first minute. I mean that is Monty Python. That's silly stuff. That's Three Stooges. Sing a song of sixpence. I mean that is silly stuff. I mean it's ridiculous. 3 straight games giving up a goal in the first minute, and when I saw it,
that's straight. We're not that bad. We're not that
bad.
But
the problem is twofold.
Three in a calendar year. In a calendar
year.
And we're not, and we still have another 4 months to go.
Let me
say hello to everybody. Let me say hello until we let me say hello to everybody before we continue on, because we have a lot to say. Welcome to the show. Steven's joined us. Arsenal says we're going to sack Havertz and Arteta. Lolo has joined the crew. Welcome. Yeah, Mr. Tom is with us. Yeah. And yes, before I forget, we got Tayyib is in the house. Welcome to the show. Yeah. Well, we haven't lost, that's for sure. But you know what? I don't like teetering on testing that line. That's the problem. Test that line. Guess what? Yeah, this guy should be. He should be a running back or in the NFL.
I mean, he'd make a great running back, man. A running back or either fullback.
Yeah, he's built for it, and you know what? Nobody can touch him. You try to grab him, and you just slip off. So, yeah. Worst stat from this match from the time they went a man down to when they scored. Arsenal had just 38% possession, a man up. Yeah, and you know what? This switching off happens when we take a lead. So that was probably the icing on the cake. Mr. Tom, anything else you got to say before we
No. I just thought it was relevant to point that out as something that it needs to be worked on. It can be worked on.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just surprising that your team is the one that's getting that wrong.
True.
Consistently.
I think. Well, add on the back of that, please. That Mr. Tom has very eloquently identified that problem, which I think that we can all see. But the problem is twofold. As well as leaking these early goals and leaking too many goals in general, at the other end of the pitch, I don't think we're scoring enough either. Yep. Even though we are creating chances, we are not converting those chances. Even Mikel said in his press conference, right, he said something like, we should have had 3, 4, 5 goals. I don't know. That's what he said. So he can see that we're not scoring enough. And this makes it even worse when we're leaking these goals at the other end as well.
True.
2 crimes that you cannot get away from in football: leaking goals and not scoring enough. That's That's not
You,
good.
you know that's a recipe for a stand. That's a recipe for possibly finishing fourth.
Yeah, hope
Yeah.
not. I hope not. I did take a look
So
at that
far.
first. I took a look at that first half again just because I wanted to see what was going on and kind of see if I could remember some of the plays. And there are multiple times we should have scored. I mean, Martinelli. I mean, a couple of times his shooting wasn't that good. I mean, I think he had that one shot where all he had to do was pick the far corner and he would have scored. There was nobody there. He wasn't even close. Saka in front of the goal, heads it. I mean, how close do you have to be to head it down and miss the goal? I mean, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you hit it down, it goes forward. His went basically straight up in the air. Goalkeeper catches it, and you're like, wow. I think there were two crosses, right? The one from Martinelli to Saka, but then also there was the cross from Trossard. Saka to what would have been Trossard. And Kyle Havertz decided I'm just going to stick a foot at it, even though I had no chance of it going in any good position, and takes the ball basically away from Trossard. And I don't know if there's communication gap there, but that's probably another thing as well. So, yeah, we struggling to score, struggling to score. But this has been a little somber, so I know we can brighten this up a little bit. I don't know if you guys are ready to brighten it up or if you want to keep talking. Because there were some good signs. There were some good signs in this game.
I mean,
Enlighten me, guys.
well, I was
Enlighten
going to say, well, Fabio Vieira, looked halfway decent for a change, which was, quite.
Told you.
I mean, when you look at his performance versus Mr. Havertz, I mean, it's clearly who should be on the bench and who should be
in 35 minutes, the man did more work than Trossard did in like 100 and 200 minutes almost.
You know what?
Trossard's worst game in an Arsenal shirt that I've seen, and he doesn't take his chance. Everyone's been saying, give him minutes, and he gets minutes, and that's when you should be giving the manager something to think about, and he didn't. Whereas Eddie is at the moment.
The thing with the Trossard deal is I say that I'll go back to it again. Havertz shouldn't have been starting. Trossard should have started, and then if you wanted to bring him in, that's when you bring him in. Yeah.
He killed a perfect preseason for Trossard. He killed it. I mean, how much better can you be in preseason than what he was doing? I mean,
he was on form.
Think about all the preseasons we saw. We saw Jesus' preseason last year. Came into the season, continued on. Trossard similar. They're like if you're like fighting for a spot, and like I'm considering preseason as practice, and supposedly practice is where you make a name for yourself in Arteta's team. What else does he have to do? I mean, every time he came on the pitch, he either scored or set somebody up, and shots that we've not seen from this team, right? We've seen him. So I think he killed his mojo a little bit, and this game wasn't set up for him. If you look at the way they played, Trossard, that's not where he's going to play. He's not a striker, so we shouldn't have played him that way. Probably should have switched him and Havertz to make it even better. Havertz playing in an 8 makes no sense, because when you can put him up top and let him just play around in front of the goal there. But I think he killed Trossard's mojo, and I made a post about this. He's done it a couple times where players. We've always talked about players playing well. Well, maybe they should get a game, and we never see it. And then when we do see it, we're like, well, what happened? I think he wears down that good mojo for a bit with some of his substitution patterns and the player management and stuff like that. You take somebody when they're hot, right? I mean, I don't know. I think he killed it. I think he killed the mojo there, Trossard. But no, I think Vieira had a really, really good day. And if he would have been able to get that overhead kick, he probably would have got all three points for the team, and he would have contributed on all of the goals. And that overhead kick, a couple inches left or right maybe, and it goes in. I mean, it had a lot of power on it, but it was right at the goalkeeper. But with all that, he didn't really have a choice. He just picked a spot. And yeah, my question now is, will we see that again? He's got to do it again, just like we've asked Nketiah as well to show us what you can do. He's shown us when he starts. Now he's shown us when he comes off the bench.
I think with T-Bag, right, that he just needed to find confidence. And you can see that he looks confident now. He looks part of the team. He looks settled. And I think that what you saw last season was his settling period and not much of a pre-season as well. But I've always believed in him. I didn't know he was going to come good because I didn't know much about him. But I looked into him and saw some of the stats. And obviously I've given him that affectionate nickname. But I've always believed in him and prayed that he would come good. And I think that in time, he could be a player that could be talked about similar as a player like Santi Cazorla or Bernardo Silva. I think that he can be a really useful player for us if he continues to grow in his confidence and the way that he's been getting better in the games.
Yeah, no.
And if you think about it as well, we brought him into a game which was a tough situation. It wasn't like we brought him on when we were coasting and the game was all locked up and sealed and there was no pressure. And he came onto the pitch and was probably the man of the match for us in that short appearance time for what he did. And if he can continue to be consistent as that, then brilliant. So glad we didn't send him out on loan.
True. Yeah. Nketiah, Tom doesn't know who Nketiah is, Sam. Never met the guy. Doesn't know him. Fabio had one decent game and he's come good and it's no, I don't think anybody said he's come good and it's settled. I don't think we said that at all.
I didn't say that. I just said I hope it continues.
I think we all are happy to see him play well.
And before this game as well, we have seen flashes of what he can do.
Yeah.
It's not like this is the first time we've seen the flashes. He came onto the pitch and he had a really good game, and that's what I'm praising him for. My hope is, as I mentioned, that it continues. But I do think that he looks more settled. Yeah, I do. I do think that he's had time to probably form bonds in the club. He's got a couple of people there. I think he's really close with Martinelli. They speak the same language, Portuguese, Brazilian, right?
Yeah. And
he doesn't look like a lamb in headlights as much as he did in some of the appearances that I've seen before. He looks more comfortable.
Yeah. I mean, I think one thing that I feel also is that Arteta is broken some of the rules he's learned from Pep. Just because you bring a player in, that costs a lot of money and who's had some good days doesn't mean you have to play them. I mean, we've seen Pep take Grealish, right, and sit him and go, you know what, it's not your time right now.
The look on your face when you said that.
It is true, right? I mean, it's he's if you're going by what Arteta wants out of his players, sometimes they need to sit and wait, right? I think he did that.
I mean, he should have just sat and waited on somebody else to get him instead of spending $65 million. You're right.
Do you not think there's an element though where it depends on whether you've bought the player or not, and has gone to the chairman to ask? For example, Pochettino at Chelsea, he's not fielding Mudryk. I know he got picked up an injury, but he doesn't even have to field him. And if Todd Bowley sort of like questions it and goes, we paid 88 million for this guy and we're paying him X amount a week, Pochettino can always turn around and say, I didn't ask you to buy him. And the way that I'm setting up this team, he's on the periphery. Whereas somebody like a Havertz, even though we can see that maybe it's not working, Mikel Arteta probably feels that he has to continue with him. Because if he starts dropping him down to the bench, maybe the owners are sat in the director box and going, why is that guy not playing? He came to us and begged us for the 65 million and to sanction giving him over 300 grand a week. And he's not. Do you see what I'm getting at? So maybe in that mindset as the manager, you're thinking to yourself, if I keep playing him, maybe it will come good and it will justify to the owners the decision that I made. Do you think that has to play a part in it?
I would agree with you, but I also seen this manager also give wanted to keep Emile Smith-Rowe, wanted to keep Nelson.
Yeah, but they came up, didn't they? They've come up through. He
wanted to keep them, and we assumed it was for the fact that he was going to use them as part of the first team, and they can't get minutes. I mean, you're like, well, what did they do in the past? Well, Nelson, when he played, came in for Saka, had a brace. Is that not that? That's a sign. All right, came in against Southampton when we were down, helped us get back into the game there. Right, Emil Smith-Rowe couldn't have had a better summer. You know, pretty much a big contributor to them getting the Euros, right, for the U21s. That's got to be a good sign.
I just think there's more pressure on you though when you've gone to the owners and you've said to them, like, I need 65 million to get this guy, and we need to sanction a salary over 300 grand a week, and you get that signed off. You've got to make that work, because if it turns out by 15 games or so that for whatever reason Kai Havertz isn't fitting into the equation of how this team needs to play, and this is the worst case scenario, we're stuffed, because he's got a 5-year contract. And the money that he's on, where's he going?
Yeah, if you're confident in what you're doing as a manager,
so he has to work.
It doesn't have to work immediately. It doesn't have to work. It doesn't have to work day one. Let's just get that right. If we're looking at for me, let me say something. I'll let you go. If we're looking at the system that Arteta has brought to the table, it doesn't click right away. Right? It doesn't click right away. And for Havertz, you're bringing on a project, so. If anybody has any semblance of football sense, they would know that Havertz has been struggling. So anything you do, you bring him in, it's not going to click right away.
But he does know the league, innit? It's not like we brought him from Brazil or somewhere like that.
He knew the league for 3 years, and guess what it meant? It meant absolutely nothing. So, nah.
Then who's
going to take? It's a player he wants. Is it going to click immediately? You have to go into this thing knowing it's not going to click right away. Look at what we did. We did the research on Timber. We knew that clicked right away. Did the research on Rice. That seems to be working. I think you put Rice anywhere, he'll be fine. Right? Havertz was the big question mark from day one.
He looked all right in preseason though as well, didn't he? 2 games back to back. He scored from the left hand side of the left post.
I can't. Now I've never seen him be in that position again. Really, right? Now, I just think at some point they have to trust you, and that might mean, you know what, I might have to set this guy on the side, you know, until he's ready to play in my system. Like it should be Arteta's system, and it should be, if you're ready to play, you're gonna play. That's what it's got to be. If he's got any confidence in what he's doing, that's what it's got to be. Matt, I know you wanted to talk.
We should have never spent that kind of money on him. He's not worth 65 million. That's like saying 300,000. That's 5 years. People acting like Arteta's got like all 5 years to work this thing out, man. Y'all know Arteta
could be gone before them 5 years.
I'm like, exactly. And we stuck with this, and he may be gone by Christmas if we keep up these kind of results. I mean, it's ridiculous. 65 million euros on this gentleman. And like you up there talking about, well, he's a track record. Track record of what? He scored 1 goal in the Champions League. What did he do? That's cool. That was good back then, but what has he done lately? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Janet Jackson style.
Exactly. He should have went right on over, back on over to Germany, and he probably fared well. That's more his speed.
Yeah.
I mean, we could have invested that money into a striker, and maybe we could have gotten Madison for a discount.
Yeah.
But I was told by fans that Madison was washed. And I was like, well, how is he washed? Yeah. I mean, hell, James Ward-Prowse is getting a better output than what we getting out of Havertz.
You know what? Yeah. Madison's a threat.
Need time to
Madison's a threat to, players on the team, which I think should.
What's the problem with that?
I don't think it's a problem, but I'm just telling you what I feel is the problem. He's a threat.
What's the problem with that?
Shouldn't Madison need time to be settling? He's coming a division below.
Well, we're blaming this on Arteta, right? This is all Arteta is great. You know what? As I said before, Arteta is whenever somebody said Arteta is the project, who said that? Anybody on this panel said Arteta is a project? Nobody? All right.
He was originally, wasn't he?
Well, guess what? He's still somewhat a project because he's not there yet, right? I think he's still working on some things. But guess what he did? He went out and found the biggest football project of all time, trying to get something out of Havertz. And guess what? How many managers have failed, tried and failed?
They play different positions. That's not what I was saying. But go on, sorry.
Yeah. So how many managers have tried and failed? All right.
That's going. This Kai Havertz situation is going to be what take him out.
It's not necessarily the players and the positions. It's actually whether they can
Gary,
produce some kind of performance for you.
Gary, we have spent an absorbent amount of money. If you know, that is a lot of cash. It's a lot of cash for a player who has traditionally not performed well and has been in starting opportunities over and over and over. I mean, that money could have been spent in better places.
It's like hiring a guy that was an alcoholic to run your bar. It's a hell of a gamble.
Yeah,
it might work out.
But more likely, odds are it ain't working out, man.
Yeah.
It ain't working out.
As Ray said, sparking Havertz is going to be difficult than sparking Pepe.
You'll probably get a better tune out of him this year than you will.
Everybody believes Pepe, given 90 minutes, will give you at least a goal or a really good opportunity to score. Havertz has played 3 games, and I know it's only been 3 games, but as I said, coming into the season, he has to show the same kind of introduction that Jesus did when he came into the team last season. If you remember when he came into the team, first time came off of halftime, and it was like, that's what we want, right?
Yeah, but is that what the problem is?
He needed to do that more for him because he doesn't have the confidence. You know what I mean? And this is where the whole Pepe thing comes in. Yeah?
But is that what the problem is for you, that he hasn't scored in 3 games? Because
he has to make a presence
7 times.
No, he has to make a presence, right? I talk all the time. Like some days, Partey, I don't even say his name. And then you look back at the game, you're like, that man's working. And then some days when he is working, you know it because you see him in there just clearing up all the messes and stuff like that, right? Havertz, if you go back and look, you're like, oh, damn. He almost looks like what I complain about with Nketiah. The man is just like going for a stroll out there and is not going to get wherever he needs to go and not make a difference.
He's running further than everybody else. That's the thing.
He's running to nowhere, though. The man's running to nowhere.
He's not on the trip.
He's on a treadmill.
He's definitely not on the trip, man.
He's on a treadmill.
For sure. Yeah, he's on a treadmill. It's going nowhere, man. He's putting lots of miles in, but you're like, where's the destination? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't this whole Havertz deal. I just don't see it ending well. I mean, when you look at it, I mean, Lee brought it up this weekend. When you look at this thing for what it is, Declan Rice basically was brought in. You can argue that was a replacement for Xhaka. He comes in. Timber comes in. He's hurt. And then you look, and then it's only Havertz. So really, we really had, we're back to square one. I know, and I ask you this every time I see you. How many players did you say we need?
We needed 10. I think we're less than 10 now.
I told Tony this summer. I told Tony, I said,
we need a football team.
I told Tony, I said, we need another defender. He thought I was crazy. What happened? The next week, Timber went down. I said, Arsenal has to have backups for the backups for the backups.
We needed a defender anyways because Holding was still on the squad.
Well, that's what I told him. I said if we get two defenders down, Holding is back in the team. So we've got a lot of work to do. We've got to make some signings this weekend. Yeah. It's like I said on the fan cast Saturday. I said a loan. And I don't know where it goes. Loan. Find a loan. People are like, oh man, Vlahovic is not good. I watched Vlahovic score a game saving error yesterday. I mean, we need anything we can get right now because if we don't have it, and Jesus goes down for an extended period of time. I mean, it's cool, and Nketiah scored 2 games in a row, but realistically, can this man score? Can he lead us through all of these competitions that we got to go through?
That is the big question for him there. That is, but in terms of like money, Arsenal has been making some money, right? Balogun I think that's been finally sold. Holding, I don't know about Holding, but Guendouzi's making money off of that sale. And there was one other player that we also made money off as well. So
Pablo Marie?
No, it was another player. It's another player that
Mavropanos.
Yeah, Mavropanos
West
made
Ham.
money off of him, right? So we've got a little bit of money coming in, enough to get another player for sure. We should be getting another player easily. That should have already happened as far as now that we know that Balogun is sold, a player should be coming in ASAP.
But does the money coming in mean that we can spend it, or does it come in to offset the money that we've spent because we're a self-sustaining model, right?
You just lost Timber, and that is a big hole to
But
fill.
Gary, even we know that, but we know how this club operates. We know how this club operates. We're gonna be sitting here on Friday. Me, you, and probably Tony are gonna be sitting here on Friday and watching this window close.
No, it doesn't close. It slams shut.
Yes, when it slams shut. Yeah, when it slams shut, as they say with the yellow ticker tape.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be. And if we don't have the what we need in here, man, it's gonna be a long season, and it's gonna start early this year than it did last year.
Yeah. No, we have to do. No, we definitely have to do something.
We're behind the 8 ball.
But no,
people don't see it. People don't see it. People don't see it, Garrett. We're behind the 8 ball already.
You don't.
It's like
but you don't sell Tierney, right? You don't sell Tierney if
loan,
you're thinking
loan.
No, you don't. So you don't let him go, right? If you don't have a plan, because now you're seriously down some defense, right? Timber was some really good defense for us. Tierney gone, defense gone, right?
But even when we had Tierney and we were down and he was scrabbling around, he wouldn't play him, would he?
Yeah.
He wouldn't play him. He was playing right-footed players and everything.
Yeah, he's one. Stan is 100% correct, man. I have never seen a manager make the most illogical decisions at times. He makes illogical decisions. It's just like that starting lineup. Brother, what made you go away from your bread and butter of Gabriel and Saliba? That it's tried and true.
True.
Tried and true. We were fine defensively. And then he changed it.
And they both played when Zinchenko's been out before, so I don't understand.
Yeah, exactly. So this is him wanting to go out and have some kind of voyeurism with his formations, and I'm going to invert and change and switch. You got the most injury prone player playing right back. Come on. We have this weekend. It has to change against Manchester United. Oh, we in trouble. I don't care how bad Manchester United look.
Yeah.
Also, as well, right? You got Zinchenko. If you're saying that Zinchenko is the left back position and he's injured, you're telling me that you would rather go to Timber, who has just come to the club, doesn't know the teammates yet, doesn't really play in that position. You're going to play him there instead of Tierney, or you're going to get Tomiyasu, who's a right-footed right back. You're going to play him ahead of Tierney, or you're going to get Kivior, who's again quite new to the club and is the left centre back again. So, you're telling me all of those are better options than Tierney, who is brought up in that position and is a Scottish international. Okay, he might not be able to invert as well, but surely that is the best choice to put in. Then experimenting with all these right-footed players that are centre backs or right backs.
Stan, he does not play to the player's strength. He does not play to what the player is good at. He will tinker and tinker and tinker, and if it happens to kind of fit for him right then, and he can get, this is gonna work. I don't even now. Correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. I don't even recall seeing this formation during the summer because I think it was Gabriel. We were running forward the back, right? We
weren't doing this. Just part.
Yeah, we weren't doing this. So. What made you, Stan? Just think about this, Stan. Think about this, Stan. All summer, you played about 4, 5, 6, 7 preseason games, and then the season starts, and you change everything, and then you know.
I think the plan initially though was to run it with Timber being the one to invert.
But then, all right, with that, Stan, that goes back to what you just said. If he goes down. Okay, that's cool because Tierney's there. So why not put Tierney there? Oh, well, he doesn't invert. But like you said, he's the best man for the job. We know that Zinchenko cannot defend. We know this. We have this on record. We have seen it all year. We know this. And he's injury prone. Who's the best man for the job? Kieran Tierney. And what did we do? Loan him out.
The only time, like, Kivior and maybe Tomiyasu should be getting in ahead is if both Zinchenko and Tini are down. Then now you're scrambling. Now you're having to think, okay, who can I put in there now? But we've been doing that. And Tini's, okay, I know that he's going to get sold. But why haven't we still been using him until that time? To win games. It doesn't make sense. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, these next few games, it's starting Sunday. The clock now for me, the clock starts Sunday. I wanted, we've gotten past the first 3 games, but this starting this weekend, the clock starts.
True.
Can I just say this other thing about
before we let Mr. Tom get a say? I just want to say hello to Chris Nix real quick. Welcome to the show. Yeah, Kudus would have been an added addition to this squad. I think I just don't think they wanted to bring. I don't know why they wouldn't want to bring him in, but that's what it looks like. Jonathan David would have been nice as well. But yeah, go ahead.
Can I just say about Megalegs? If I don't understand that, even if there is interest from Saudi Arabia and the club's stance, which I have seen, is we are not selling him. Why does that mean you can't play him because there's interest from another club? I don't understand why that prevents you from playing him unless a deal is going down.
Yeah, I think Arteta took a page out of De Zerbi's book where interest from another team is interfering with his players' concentration. Thus, we're not going to use him.
So much that when we're battling our legs and we're up against the wall, he'll still bring him on though.
Rules. There are rules. You just don't break the rules, Stan.
I don't understand. I don't get it.
That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
The club want to keep him. Yeah. I don't see how it's affecting the player unless the player is saying, I want to speak to these people. True.
Well, let Mr. Tom. We've been talking. You can jump in if you like. You got anything you want to say, or you're busy?
No, I'm good.
All right. We are here for you. Yeah, no, we got to do something. I think we got to do something with that money. I can't. Yeah, we'll worry about that next season or something, because we'll probably sell Partey or somebody, right? Next season, maybe make some money off of that, even if it's for a little bit of change. But I don't know how you cannot try to do something with the team you've got right now, in terms of maybe trying to get something out of this season. A huge bid could be coming. We'll see about that. And Tayyip is. I assume this is not a nice thing to say. Why it is preferred when it's more of a hybrid back 3. It does feel more tactical with Gabriel. I just hope he don't keep doing the same. Yeah, well, we'll see about that. We'll see. I think everybody's expecting a typical back 4 next week. This, what is it, on Sunday, with White, Gabriel, Saliba, and I'm assuming Zinchenko.
Said this before the last game, didn't we? Exactly the same thing. We thought, he's going to go back to them.
But we've dropped points now, so maybe things have changed. Maybe he's got like the light bulb has gone on, right? So, and I don't think the defense is the reason why we lost. It didn't help not having our best defense there, but I don't think it's the reason we lost.
I do, because when Saka goes to make that pass back, there's a huge hole there.
Yeah.
Almost as if to say, like, he was like thinking that someone was supposed to be there. It was massive.
Yeah. Gabriel Magalhaes made that same pass, so I don't think it would have made it that. I don't think the 2 goals we gave up was the issue. I think that the fact that we didn't score in the first half once again is an issue. That we didn't score, like, we had many chances to score in that first half, and we didn't. I mean, we always look at the goals that we give up, but then it's just, I think we're more of an offensive team anyways. That's where a lot of our money is spent. All right, we got a lot of money up front there, and we're not utilizing it.
Hello?
All right, they should be one of the key pillars of this team is that, those wings and Erdegaard, right? He's supposed to bring something to us, right? I think even Erdegaard, he finally did score, and it was called back for offsides by Havertz, right? But otherwise, I mean, what did Erdegaard give us in the game? I mean, I think in reality, the three youngsters didn't give us enough. We needed something more. The same way people are going to complain about Ramsdale missing, not stopping that goal. I think every once in a while your goalkeeper has to make that save. Right? No matter what, they have to make it at some point. I don't know if that was the one, but at some point they have to make that save where you go, he just saved us. All right?
Yeah.
I mean, he did that. He did that against Liverpool. Yeah, but that one was a little straightforward in the sense that he knew where he was going. This one he didn't know where he was going.
Yeah, we the goalkeeping situation. He's all over the place this year, and it's combine that with that formation, and it creates chaos. And, what I'm seeing is the modern manager, and I watched it Sunday. I don't know if y'all watched the Newcastle game. Watched it in the Newcastle game. The modern manager overcomplicates the game. And Arteta and Eddie Howe both do it. Yeah, that's right. Both of them. They do it. They overcomplicate the game.
There's a fly. There's a fly.
I don't even mess with you, man. Yeah, he just overcomplicates the game, and it's something that is going to lead to our detriment this season. Yeah. Just play. Just like I said on my fan camp. Just play the same team that you played last year. Just play the exact same team that you played last year, and go from there.
Yeah, just
because that's what works.
Just replace Xhaka with Rice.
With Rice, and then move on. Yeah, and then we'll find a way to get Havertz in off the bench and go from there. He's just gonna be the most expensive player we ever bought to play on the bench.
True. Ray, if this is our lineup on the weekend, I'm gonna be really, really disappointed. Really, really disappointed if Gabriel isn't part. If Gabriel doesn't play in this game,
disappointed. He's gonna be disappointed.
If Gabriel doesn't start in this game after they didn't sell him, right? Because that's the only way. Like that should be the only reason why he is not.
Just imagine that, Gary. Imagine that, Gary. If we mess right here and sell Gabriel. I mean, do you know how stupid that would be? That would be absolutely asinine if we do something.
73 games he played for us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Arteta said, You know what? Hold my beer. I'm going to break that record. But Saka gets to play
800 games.
83, right? He's up to 83. It's like, come on, man.
I mean, Gary, let's just be real. Let's look at this thing. Yeah. Gabriel and Saliba is tried and true. And Ben White on the right-hand side was tried and true. That worked all year long. And then the manager says, you know what? I'm tearing this shit up and I'm starting over. And I'm going to make this work and I'm going to show y'all.
Can I just say something about our defense, though? Because if we go through each one of the players in our defense, I think it's, we all like them. There's no one that when we say the name, we go, we seem to like all of them. I'm not going as far back as that. I'm going about starters and even the backups. I'm not going that way back. Do you know what I mean? And, the backups for the fullbacks, we all seem to like them, but there is a problem with our defence because we've been letting in too many goals. Even before Saliba went out, I felt there were times when we let in some squeaky goals, and I don't know why. And as I say, we all like the personnel, but something's not right.
Yeah. You know what I'm hoping, and I believe this.
Maybe the lack of defending by Zinchenko, maybe the hole that we leave sometimes when we invert. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the more that I think Rice gets an influence on this team, I think the better our defense will be. He'll do anything to stop the other team from attacking and everything. And I think
question, because you guys said it. Do you really believe that Rice is better as the 8 then and not the 6? Is that what you're saying?
I just want him he needs to be on the pitch. He'll play fine wherever we put him. He'll be better, I think, as an 8 because I think Partey's the better 6 right now. That's me. But Rice gets a spot on the field. He's like Saka. He gets a spot in the field. Just put him anywhere because he'll play fine wherever you put him. Partey right back, nah. As I said before, that is just asking for him to be out of the lineup for a month, and he's going to be gone. And he's going to be gone for AFCON.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about this year. I forgot all about that thing.
He'll be gone for a month. So if we even and you know how they, he won't come back.
We could start playing Jorginho as a right back then.
Oh shit!
Now you're definitely talking about injury. All right, there's no way No way. Like think about
Another
it.
midfielder. That's what he's doing. Isn't he? He wants another midfielder in there. That's
Yeah.
what it looks like. It's like an overload at the sacrifice of our defence. That's what it is. People say
if you
high
can find
risk,
a timber, you can
high
find another
reward.
player
And I don't
similar.
like high risk.
Yeah, if you can find a timber, you can find another player similar on the right. I think is Timber left or right? He's left, right? Or is
He's
he
right.
He's right.
Right.
So if you can find another Timber, but on the left side, I think Simmercan is on the left side, right? He's more. I think he's more slanted to
Gary,
the left.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get rid of Jet out of here. I'm gonna say this.
Okay.
We should have not loaned out Kieran Tierney.
Yeah.
Kieran Tierney was the most qualified person to go into that position on that left side. That's a problem that was not even a problem.
Yeah,
That was not even a problem.
I agree.
I don't know why he created that issue. So now I didn't even think about AFCON. And we know what happened with AFCON. He's gonna go down there. He'll either get sick, get malaria or something. He come back. He gone out for 4 weeks, and then we on this train again. And we know we're not gonna buy a midfielder in the transfer window. So in the winter transfer window. So we know that's out the question because you just spent $65 million on one. So guess what? He not a midfield. I'm sorry. Midfield. I'm sorry. I'm thinking he's playing right back. But I'm thinking about his position. So you see how it confuses me? I'm saying got right back. Yeah, we're not gonna buy another defensive midfielder because, like you said, he'll move. Stan said that in jest, but I could see him doing that. Well, let's just move Jorginho over there and let's move, silly stuff. If he puts out this formation, what makes you think he wouldn't try that?
Wouldn't it be nice to have that Havertz money right now at our disposal?
Yeah, it's I saw a meme today. Where they showed where it was basically West Ham gets $100 million and what they spend on their midfield and what we get and spend on ours. I mean, really. It is like I said, Madison. I know somebody like Madison doesn't play midfield. What the point is that quality players are out there. And you could have spent that money on 2 or 3 different players, even if it was a midfielder that was probably 25 or 30 million. Maybe a veteran that you could have brought in to show up things. But instead we spent 65 million and that wage, 300 million. 300.
It's about
300,000.
What
300 million or 300,000 a week?
300,000 grand a week.
A week.
Yeah.
350 grand a week.
He's a highest paid player, I believe, at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, just think about that. I mean, he's making more than Saka, who just signed a new deal.
Sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you know what? The reason why I bring up the AFCON is because if we're gonna play Partey, I don't want to waste his minutes playing him as a right back.
Put him where he needs to be at. Exactly, Gary. Play him in his position that he played at during the summer. That he was bossing it during the summer. That's like I said. I don't remember seeing this lineup during the summer. I remember looking at a whole different lineup. I want to go back to the lineup that we had last year. That was seemingly worked for us 93% of the season last year. Yeah. Let's go with what we know that works. Stop trying to change stuff.
Yeah, the AFCON. Just to note this, the AFCON is mid-January to mid-February, so it's not the same as it used to be. So,
but I like though with Thomas Partey, he'll fly all the way over there. He'll get off the aeroplane and within 5 minutes to get kicked by an elephant out for like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, he'll be rolling around next to. He'll be rolling on the ground next to a giraffe.
Yeah.
And then a pack of hyenas come out and start biting him.
That sounds like that's some softball shit.
Anything you want to say before you go, Matt?
Yeah, man. I hope we win this weekend. I'm gonna tell y'all like this. This is the way it's gonna go. This is the best way I can tell you. If we use the same formation we've been using the last couple of weeks, we're losing that game emphatically. If he makes the change, goes back to what we've been using, there's a good chance we probably win that game. But it's going to depend on one of the 2 scenarios. I'm more inclined to believe he's going to keep doing exactly what he's been doing the last couple of weeks because he's stubborn and right now he's in arrogant mode. He's in I'm going to prove it to y'all that this can work because I'm super Mick Arteta.
There you go.
And so
that's just
we're gonna find out.
True,
but people are starting to look cross-eyed at this whole formation deal that he's put out the last couple of weeks. But like I told you, if you go back to last season, he tried this at the last game. He tried this foolishness at the last game of the season. This party at right back thing. and we all thought he was crazy then. He's back at it again. So we'll see how it go.
All right. Well, you enjoy.
Tom, I'm watching Leeds, man. I got my eye on Leeds.
Have a safe journey, mate.
All right, brothers.
All right. See ya.
Cheers.
Safe
Appreciate
flight.
that.
Yep. All right. So this came up as we were talking. Yeah, we'll forget about the first 3 games if we win this one, but I just don't. For us to do that, that means we're gonna have to change our formation in terms of the way the players are laid out, and it's gonna look different. And it's gonna be the first time this season in a big important game. And there might be some rustiness from Margules if he's starting, but I think I'd rather have him rusty than anybody else. I just think I think it's a bad move not playing him playing him a lot in the previous game. Yeah, and I think I saw you guys talking about money being passed around, and what is that?
Ray asked if we were gonna sell Mega Legs, how much would we want? How much would we accept?
Yeah.
And I remember seeing something. I'm sure it was some article, and they were saying, he's only just signed a new contract, right? Less than a year ago, I believe. So if we can, and the quote was something like, "So even 200 million, we wouldn't sell him." And I was thinking, really, 200 million? You might want to think about.
Well,
think about that.
There was people talking about Mo Salah going to Saudi, and what happens if somebody offered 200 million, and and the fans said no, it's not. You can't get what he has. I mean, it's not the same, of course, but to get a player in now that's going to replace.
You probably wouldn't be able
Gabriel
to invest Salah's money straight away, but I mean, it's not like Mega Legs where he's only just signed a new contract and has a big future ahead of him. Salah is like winding down, isn't he? So 200 million, even if I couldn't spend it in this window, I'd probably take it.
Yeah.
For Salah. So how much would I take for Mega Legs? Surely the contract has to play a part in it, that he's under a long contract. So, I mean, that Garvador just went to Man City for how much? 80-odd million. And he isn't as proven as Mega Legs is. So you would have to say higher than that then, wouldn't you? I would, surely. 20 million on top of whatever he was, maybe, for the experience. He's just been recalled to the Brazilian team. So, 95 million, 110 maybe, who knows?
Yeah. It's worth a bit of change for sure.
I'd like to keep him personally.
Yep. Well, it's really when we come in. I think once again, coming into the beginning of this season, did you ever think, well, let's see, Gabriel might be on the chopping block, might be a player we're going to sell?
Not at all.
Nobody could foresee that. Nobody foresee Partey as a right back. Nobody actually thought that Arteta would go back to Xhaka as a number 6 after the first experience. Just
73 games, mate. There's only 38 in the league, so he's been playing in everything, mate. And all of a sudden, he's out.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, Arteta is like
the first game of the season. You don't have him in there. Yeah. Surely you know I'm getting at. He sounds like a player by having played 73 games for you. That is one of the first on the team sheet.
True.
To me.
True. Well, think about it. Going into the summer, is Saliba's back going to be an issue? Now we're like, well, will Saliba ever play with Margules?
What is the tactic you could be deploying, which incorporates having to take out your best centre back?
We're saving him. That's the only
thing
that
Christmas?
makes sense. Yes, saving the miles on his legs.
Was he running batteries?
Yes.
This is ridiculous.
That's the only thing that makes any sense, and it actually makes no sense. It's like I know he was him and
we've played one game a
Ramsdale,
week for the past 3 weeks. We've not played 2 games in a week.
Played 38 games last season. I think they were the only 2 players to do that.
I've just had holiday.
I'm just telling you, it doesn't make any sense. That's the only thing that makes sense to me, though, is that he's just saving him up for like the Champions League run. Because think about what we were doing with him. Remember, he played in the Premier League and he played in Europa. Salah didn't.
And the other thing is as well, we still haven't received the ransom note, have we, for Emil Smith Rowe? We haven't kidnapped him. They've not sent us a ransom. Like, we don't know what their demands are.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been kidnapped, right? I mean, where is this guy?
Yeah. Chris Nick says 100 mil. I think he's a starting center back, and like you said, Brazilian national. It should be easy. TJ has joined the show. Welcome. Yeah, back three of Gabriel, Saliba, and White. That'd be nice. I just don't know why Partey has to move around. I saw a comment here about formations and stuff.
There are a lot of people that like Partey playing from right back, and I saw a lot of people online indicating that they felt that he had a good game in the last game.
Yeah,
I mean, it's all opinions, right?
Yeah. No, I feel the reason why I don't like it is he can play it, but shitty. Right? We can't keep the man on the pitch for 30+ games in a season, so we're going to ask him to take on a role that requires him to move in areas that he never had to before, and make sure he gets back to the right. I just kind of felt like you're asking for he's already an issue. I don't know. I feel like I repeated this too many times now. It's not that he can't do it. It's just that he's the best 6 you got. Play him as the 6. He can't give you a full season of games, right? He'll give you maybe 20 Premier League games, all the Champions League games. There's no reason to press him and ask him to do more work.
We're basically playing with 3 defenders and then this one other guy on the side. He sort of like has a different role. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. I think it's asking for trouble, and we'll see. Hopefully, it doesn't come back to haunt us, right? But I think let's play him in his right positions. Like, here's the thing: he didn't need to play in the first 3 games, right? Partey didn't need to play in the first 3 games. Now he's gonna play. Think about it. This is what we have coming up. So
Tactics, there, boy.
Manchester United, right? Everton, who we struggled to beat away last time.
Again, yeah, another one on paper, but it didn't work out that
team,
last time.
We're playing that team at home. They look to be okay. Bournemouth is maybe the one time he shouldn't play, but guess what? The next game after that is City, and after that, Chelsea. Like, this is like he should have started the Fulham game as his first game, and lets Partey play all the way through the next set of games, right? Because he's got breaks and all of that. But no, he's put in 3, these 3 games or 2 games now. 3
This
games
is a very big
now.
season for the manager because the size of our transfer kitty notwithstanding, he has got 4 competitions now in front of him, and he's going to have to navigate them. And his biggest criticisms have been substitutions and how he uses a squad. So it's going to be really interesting. But I would say that people have been crying out that we don't have a plan B. Maybe this is part of the plan B. Now he's doing a plan B. People don't like it. People were crying out that Trossard should have started. He started and gave us nothing. He didn't give us anything, I don't think, in that last game. Maybe the argument is that he started him, yes, but maybe he started him in the wrong place. I can't wait to the next game because I've got no idea what I'm going to expect. No idea. Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if David Raya started the next game. It wouldn't surprise me.
We hadn't even got into that.
It wouldn't surprise me. Because he does that, doesn't he? He will take people out who have had good games.
Yeah.
Be like Pep does. He could. David Raya,
I want to say this. I'm not stopping Tom from talking. He doesn't want to talk today. I don't understand. Talk to me, Mr. Tom.
He's observing.
Been saying for 40 minutes. I've been saying
I've been asking you to talk to me.
Don't take the piss, Gary. You're taking the piss. Let's just get on with it, please. Carry on.
All right, we're moving along. What's my starting 11? No, just the usual one without Xhaka. Just Rice. So that's an easy one for me. Should be that. Gabriel.
He's going to be fit enough. He came off the bench the last one.
Yeah. I see Nketiah probably playing up top. Actually, now that you say that, he looked good coming off the bench, and maybe deserves that, and Havertz doesn't. All right, but who knows? probably going to see Havertz in his usual spot, or he'll push the man to the bench. So, yeah. So yeah, that will be interesting to see what they do there. That would be interesting to see what they do there. I don't know. Yeah. Now, and I think the way that Manchester United played last week, that's they're going to know that no matter what, they have an opportunity to probably get back into any game. So that will be a challenge. You guys are freeing a lot of people. So
it's funny though, because I think that Manchester United, they seem to be there for the taking at the moment. They seem to be quite shaky. But Manchester United are probably looking at Arsenal thinking the same thing. Some of the early goals that we let in, they're probably thinking that we're there for the taking. They're probably thinking this is the right time to be playing us.
Yeah.
Well, their midfield seems to be really sort of a bit creaky, doesn't it? Their midfield, they get overrun a lot.
We should be taking care of business for sure. I mean, some of our players should be ready to get out there and do a lot better than they did last game. So yeah, I can't believe Anthony Martial's still there. That'd be like us with Havertz in 4 years' time. He's still there. Anthony Martial. I hope it's a different player. I hope he's not the same player we got
Wasn't
right
there
now.
An add-on in his contract that was like, one of the add-ons was, you have to give us X amount when he wins the Ballon d'Or. That's never going to happen, is it?
What?
That was one of the conditions, I believe, in the contract when he went to United.
Wow.
That's how good everybody thought he was going to be.
Ouch. Wow. No, I don't see it. I don't see that at all. It says, Spencer's, welcome to the show. I think I said hi to you. They're 1,000% convinced that Zinchenko and Timber's lack of availability has caused the Partey right back situation. Yeah, I think a lot of people think that as well. It doesn't, for me, it doesn't, no. Like, somebody else should be playing that role. I get why he's playing it, but it just seems like you're going to hurt the man.
But if you want to play a game with inverted fullbacks, and your inverted fullbacks are missing, why not just continue in a more traditional way until they're back again? Why start forcing other players to do that if they're not comfortable doing it or not good at it? It's going to cause problems.
You would think so. You would think so. You know what? Like I said,
just go back to something else until the time is right to go back to that again. When you have the personnel that can carry out those roles.
Very true. Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Kirio left back, not so much. Yeah, that Timber injury just is really, really, it just hurts. It hurts. Yeah. That sucks. Well, we are coming up about 75 minutes here, so we're gonna start head out of here. Mr. Tom, you want to say goodbye?
Oh, yeah, I would love to. I'd love to. Thank you, everyone, for joining the trip. I hope you have a good week.
All right, Stan.
What he said.
All right, we'll be back. We'll be back next week. There'll be a couple games in the hand for everybody. Hopefully, wins all around. We'll do this again. Arsenal needs a big win. Need to wash the stink off from the last game, and we will see you then. All right, everybody. See you in a bit.